Hello, I am so excited to take you through this training today where I'm going to show you how to make at least 15 pieces of content in under 2 hours a week, my exact methodology for doing this. Hello, if you don't know who I am, my name is Steph Gorton. I'm a business coach. I help coaches, agencies, and consultants scale up to 100K high profit cash months. And I'm super excited to dive into this training with you. I saw a post last week, it says yesterday, but it was actually last week, that said on the low end, it would take the average person 8 to 10 hours a week to create Instagram content. But on the upper end, it would take somewhere between 15 to 20 hours per week, which blew my mind. I thought to myself, no wonder people hate marketing. No wonder people hate creating content. If you were a coach, a consultant, if you run an agency, as if you have time to spend 20 hours a week on marketing, let alone even 8 to 10 hours a week. And so it takes me less than 2 hours a week personally to make 5 pieces of content that I can post across 3 platforms and sometimes even up to 5 platforms, which I'm going to show you guys today. This is content that generates me over 200 email addresses a week. And this is from our ManyChat sequences from just last week alone. 200 email addresses a week and attracts 800 new followers every month. And more than that, like this is just on social. This is just on Instagram. You know, we're getting new followers on Facebook. We're also getting new connections on LinkedIn. We're also getting new followers on Twitter. We're getting new followers across all platforms. And so I know for sure that this content game, yes, it's about volume and quality, right? We need both for these things, but it definitely should not be taking you 8 to 10 hours a week and definitely not 15 to 20 hours a week. And so it takes me 2 hours. It actually takes me less than that right now. And so if your content is taking you more than 2 to 3 hours a week, it indicates to me that you need a better system. So let me walk you through mine. Now, today I'm going to have a free downloadable available for you. It's going to be in the description on this video. And this downloadable is going to have all of the hooks, hook ideas, and all the things that you will need to be able to bring this content system to life. So feel free to go and grab yourself a copy of that now. I will also put this document as an attachment down there as well. So if you want to witness that, you can. So the first step is that you have to know your niche. Now, I used to be the kind of entrepreneur that was like, if you want to buy my stuff, I will sell it to you. I was too scared to niche because I did have huge amounts of audience from all different niches, from beauty businesses to trades businesses, startup entrepreneurs to entrepreneurs making $100,000 a month. I had all of it, and I was too scared to niche because I didn't want to cut people out. But it's a flawed model. It's a flawed way of thinking. And the reason it's flawed is because the minute I niched, my content creation got so much easier. Not only did my content creation get easier because I was able to speak to one type of problem, one type of solution, I was able to create content that really solves specific problems for that audience. What happened because I started solving specific problems for that audience was that they actually started wanting to buy from me more because I spoke to them. So this is how we really went from like getting, a couple of hundred leads, followers a month, all the way through to 800 followers a month. We're now up to over 1,000 followers a month every month. And the reason for this is because I started actually speaking to the person on the other end, and they were like, oh, wow, that's me. Thank you so much for speaking to me. I have that very specific problem and I would love to get your help with solving it. And so you have to have a niche, not a target market, not women between 25 and 35, because at 25, you have a very different set of problems to the problems that you have at 35 and again at 45. So a very specific niche market, and your niche market must have something in common. So the thing that they must have in common is a specific problem. So the specific problem for our audience is they need leads and they want to make more money and they want to scale without spending any more than like 30 hours a week in their business, okay? Because they actually got into business to have time freedom. And so they're the 3 specific problems that my audience have. They need to grow so they can get consistent income in, but they want to grow with ease and they want to have money, okay? And they want to have leftover profit at the end. So these are the specific problems that our audience have. Your audience will have specific problems too. The second thing that about when it comes to picking a niche market is they have to be able to afford your service. So I was in the startup entrepreneur realm for very many years before I moved into working with entrepreneurs at 20, 30, 50, 100K months. And so the number one issue that we had at the beginning when I was working with startups was affordability. I had an incredible problem that I could solve. I could help you make loads of money, but startups couldn't afford the service that I was offering. So they have to be able to afford what you offer, and they have to be able to afford to pay to solve this problem. And then last but not least, they have to have what we call problem awareness. So they have to be aware of the problem in the first place. So this specific problem that you solve, they must be aware that they have the problem and they must be desperate to try and solve it. Okay. So if you hit these three things, then you have a niche market, and then I would 100% go to market on this. So the first one is you have to know your niche. So once you know your niche, creating content becomes so much easier. So what you're going to do is, like I said, you're going to identify your niche. So ours is coaches and consultants and agencies who want to scale up from, 10, 20K months all the way up to 100K months, high profit businesses working less than 30 hours a week. There's our niche. We want to identify their three main problems. So I told you guys before, the three main problems are they want leads, they want to get more money in the door, but they want to scale with ease. So they want to scale without working more hours, okay? And so these are the three problems that our main niche have. So what you want to do is identify what are the three main problems that they're willing to pay to solve. Once you've written those out, then in order to create the content, you want to only create content around these three problems. Pretty much 90% of the time, everything should be around these three problems for your niche. Now, if you have a personal brand, you can talk about other stuff, but even the other stuff that you talk about should be related to this if you want to make money from your social media with ease, okay? So step 2 is simply to identify the niche and then identify the three main problems. Step 3 is to always start with the hook. So when you're starting with a blank page, start with the hook. The hook is the easiest thing to be able to create the rest of the content. We break our problems down. So problem 1, which is like they want to get more leads, we break that problem down into educational posts and authority posts. So educational posts are where you teach someone how to do something. Authority posts are where you show them what you've been able to do. Okay, that's the main difference between the two. So the educational posts would be like, and I've given you 2 hook examples here, but again, if you download my hooks guide in the description below, I'm giving you a heap of hooks for free that you can utilize and leverage. But you want to start with the hook. So I love educational post hooks are 3 ways that you can. So here's 3 ways that you can generate 800 leads a month without any ad spend, as an example. Hook 2 might be here's how to. So it might be here's how to generate 800 leads, only spending less than 2 hours a week creating content on social media. Okay, so these are the hooks. You start with the hooks, and then once you have your hook, everything comes easy because you know you're the expert at what you do. You can educate on this, but you just need the hook first. Then for authority posts, the difference is that you're still teaching and showing and showcasing, but this time you're showcasing from a place of authority. So here's how my client got X result. So here's how my client generated 200 leads last week. Or here's how I, with the topic of this content piece today, here's how I generate 200 new leads per week and 800 new followers per month. Okay, so it's showing you that I've done it, therefore you can do it too. Okay, so once you write out your hooks, and again, download my hooks bank below, then it's really easy to create the rest of the content because you already know how to teach this. So step 4 is to make 1 reel, 1 carousel, or 1 static post for each. Now this depends on the platforms you want to post on. We are very heavy on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. In fact, we post on YouTube Shorts as well with our reels now. But 1 reel, 1 carousel, or 1 static post for each. For the reel, you just want to use the hook in the video and the caption for the info underneath. And then for the carousel, you want to use the hook for slide 1 and the caption gets spread across each carousel. For a static post, obviously just a photo of you or whatever. So for each hook, you're going to create a reel, the hook again in the video and the caption for the info, the carousel, the hook for slide 1, and then spread across the rest. So you can see here that right now we're going to make 4 hooks or 4 pieces of content for problem 1, and we're going to do that again for problem 2, and we're going to do that again for problem 3. So that's 12 pieces of content that you have already created, okay, from a very, very simple process here. The next part is that we want to repurpose this content. So of course, we schedule in the Instagram app, we auto post to Facebook app as well. But you can also take, especially any of the captions that are quite long, you can also take them and schedule them as emails. So we take our longer captions, especially the educational ones and the storytelling ones, we'll do a mix of both and we'll schedule them as emails, and we'll have strong call to action at the end of our emails to book a call or take another action or invite them into something else with us. And that's how we repurpose it to 15 pieces of content per week. So 3 additional emails as well. Guys, it really is that simple. I know that seems very obvious, but it really truly is that simple. You could create so much content, at least 15 pieces of content. And then we actually schedule it in later as well. So later, I know they say that it reduces your reach and blah, blah, blah. We haven't seen it that much. Ultimately, we're not trying to go viral. We're just trying to create enough content so that we have omnipresence, so that people know, like, and trust us. They can see that we know what we're doing. And then from there, we want to invite them to take another action, which we do through a heap of lead nurture processes, which I'll make another video on another time, around DM, email, outreach, phone calls, all these sorts of amazing things, so that we can make sure that we support somebody to make a decision about whether we're the right fit for them or not, to help them solve their specific problems. I hope that you found this video helpful. Again, the downloadables are available to you. And if you need any support at all to grow your coaching or consulting or agency business to 100K months, I would be honored to support you. You can also book a call with our scale specialist below, and we can teach you exactly how to implement these processes into your business so that you can hit 100K cash months.